Good morning, everyone. As we gear up for the 25th editions of the Nagaland's iconic Hornbill Festival, a celebration that showcases the cultural heritage of the state. This year, the event is even more on a global dimension. Today, we have two great, remarkable personalities with us. Miss Alison Barrett, MBE, Director of British Council India. Alison Barrett, MBE, leads British Council India, overseeing initiatives in English, education and arts. With extensive experience in the Asia-Pacific region, she is dedicated to strengthening educational and cultural ties between India and the UK. Joining with her is Dr. Debanjan Chakrabarty, Director of East and Northeast India. Dr. Debanjan Chakrabarty was the UK's in-post lead for the G20 Culture Trek in 2023. A member of the Global Creative Economy Program Board, he co-supervises research on multilingual education at Oxford Cambridge Open University and champions cultural and educational exchange in South Asia. So this year's festival themed Two Nations of Cultural Innovation, making a significant step in strengthening cultural and education ties between India and Wales, further enhancing the long-standing relationship between the two nations. Thank you for joining us today. And how does it finally feel to reach Nagaland?
It's amazing to be here. I first came to India about 25 years ago when the Hornbill Festival started, and I've had the Hornbill Festival on my list of things to do since then, so I'm just delighted to be here for the 25th anniversary.
It's a real pleasure to be back at Hornbill Festival after a few years. We have been, from the British Council, we have been supporting and working with Hornbill Festival for a long time now. And last I was here was in 2017, when UK was one of the theme partner countries. And it's absolutely a huge pleasure and privilege to come back to Hornbill Festival. And we are so impressed at how much it has grown, the international dimension, the facilities, the programming. It's really remarkable.
All right, thank you. So before we go into other questions, this year's festival themed Two Nations of Culture and Innovation. So what significance does this hold for this year's festival?
Well, first of all, I probably should say Bal Asana, which is a greeting here, I know, in Nagaland. And yesterday I had the pleasure of greeting the crowd in the Welsh greeting, because the Welsh language is widely spoken in Wales, which is Al Ashmai. And it was just really exciting to hear the whole crowd chanting the Welsh greeting back to me last night. I think there's a lot of similarities between Wales and Nagaland. They both have beautiful mountainous regions. They have similar sizes of populations, very strong cultural heritage and connections, particularly through music, but also through agriculture, through crafts and weaving. So it's a brilliant collaboration that we hope will go from strength to strength.
So how has Wales been a country partner benefited from engaging with Nagaland's cultural scene, particularly the Hornbill Festival?
Yes. So we have been able to support 5 artists to come to India, working with the Welsh government over the last year as part of the Wales in India campaign. This is a year-long initiative to strengthen ties between Wales and all parts of India. 2 of those artists have had the opportunity to come here to Hornbill. So yesterday at the inaugural festival, we were all completely mesmerised by the performance between Mari Matthias from Wales and Seye Chunzo from Nagaland. They've been working together for the last month online, and they met together in Delhi just a few days ago, and they've been able to collaborate and produce a really beautiful piece of music, bringing together the best of folk traditions from both cultures and countries. So I think that that is a collaboration, that's one example of a collaboration that will last a lifetime. I'm sure that their friendship will continue, and they will continue to collaborate and produce music together.
So what long-term impact do you foresee from initiatives like Wales in India 2024 on the arts and education sectors in both nations?
So while we've been here, we've had opportunities to have meetings with a whole range of different stakeholders, with TAFMA, with the Ministries of Education, the Ministries of Tourism, and those conversations are starting to identify ways that we can continue to collaborate moving forwards to ensure that that cultural and educational exchange continues. That will ensure that our sectors continue to flourish, and that we continue to build deeper understanding and links that will lead to, I'm sure, a whole range of different initiatives across all of our sectors.
Okay, my last question for you. How do you see cultural programs like the Hornbill Festival shaping the next generation of artists, educators, and cultural leaders?
It's a brilliant opportunity for people to learn from each other's cultures. I loved one of the phrases that one of the artists said yesterday, that the Hornbill Festival celebrates the cultural heritage of Nagaland, but in the past, but also into the future. And I thought the performances were a really amazing sort of symbolic example of that, because we had everything from folk traditions, from rap, from drumming. It was a great range that showcased the breadth of the culture. And this is a brilliant way to really learn and understand a place very deeply.
Thank you. So, jumping on to Mr. Dibanjan. So, with your background in literature, media, and films, how do you see these mediums fostering deeper cultural connections between the UK and India?
Thank you for that question. But before that, can I just add something to the Welsh programming offering at this year's Hornbill? So you heard Mari Matthias and Seiye yesterday. She's performing today and tomorrow also at the festival. And then we have the brilliant Gareth Bonello coming in from Wales, who will collaborate with a Meghalaya artist called Benedict. And again, the long-term collaborations that you mentioned, Gareth has been working in the Northeast for a very long time, for over 10 years now. He is also returning, like me, to the Hornbill Festival. He performed here last in 2016, I think. And I think Hornbill allows us to create a rich vein of dialogue. So we had yesterday Dr. Sharon Tonners from Dundee University. She will be delivering a great series of lectures today in Dimapur in two institutions, Tetso College and Hope Academy. So we are engaging with the future that Alison mentioned, the future of Nagaland, so that we build stronger long-term narratives with the UK, Wales and other parts of the UK too. Coming back to your question, we from the British Council have a very rich offer in all these areas: literature, films, music, media studies, all of it. Coming to literature, we had the great pleasure, Alison presented to Honorable Chief Minister a copy of a brilliant translation project we did called A Fistful of Moonlight. This was a translation project of young Assamese writers writing in Assamese, who we translated into English, and we have helped these writers access international readership and international markets. We very much hope that those kind of endeavors will sit at the heart of the Nagaland UK connections, India UK connections, and so that's one area. We have a fantastic library, digital library. It's got hundreds and thousands of fiction titles. And the beauty of the digital library is it can be accessed from anywhere. We have 3 physical libraries in India. In Delhi, it's in an iconic building where Alison has her office. We have another library in Chennai, another in Calcutta. But the digital library is accessible to anyone in India from anywhere. So we would really encourage young students and young people from Nagaland to access the digital library. We have a number of film screenings in these libraries, but I'd like to talk to you about a little bit about a fantastic film program that we have called 5 Films for Freedom. So it's an international online film festival that celebrates the freedom of love. So it's the world's largest LGBTQIA film festival. So we run it in partnership with British Film Institute, and it's a fantastic offer so we can talk about that later on. And I think the work that you are doing, for example, in media, is a way for Nagaland to reach the world.
Exactly.
So I wish Hornbilltv all the very best, and may you thrive and prosper.
So my last question, as a former journalist, how do you think media can be leveraged to amplify cultural exchange programs like Wales in India?
I think this conversation is a good example of how media can reach out. But now media has also undergone fantastic transformation because of the arrival of social media. So we have seen, for example, a social media reel about the collaboration between Mari and Seiye in Delhi, the performance that Alison mentioned. So that was posted just 48 hours ago. And it has already reached out to about 10,000 people just through Instagram. So that is the power of media in contemporary times. And we have to leverage that. Anything to add, Alison?
Well, I would just say that I would really hope that the work that you're doing and other social media or journalists are doing will also really help encourage more people to visit Hornbill. I think I read yesterday there was something like 500 or 600 international visitors. So let's hope that that's sort of 50,000 by the 50th anniversary of the Hornbill Festival.
So this was all for today's talk. Thank you so much, Miss Alison and Mr. Dibanjan, for giving us your time. So this comes to the end of our interview. You're watching Hornbill TV, Kohima.